Yep, all over it. Hello.
Double check.
Good afternoon, Charlotte. I would like to start by telling you a story. My nanny is 96 years old and her body is getting weaker and her memory is slowly fading away. She's a fighter, but I'm not sure she'll last for too long. The thing is, I barely knew her life story and just thought of her as the old granny I was made to see every month. I would love to hear her tales and all about her life story before she leaves us. She's fading every day. If only I had a way to remember her and her story. We are Untold Tales and we are here to solve this problem. Our names are Kira, Casey, Sarah, Michaela, Hannah and Penny.
While thinking about what we would like to do for our DeLorean project, we thought, who in the world has the best stories to tell? Who has great life advice? And what can we do to help? Well, our answer to these questions was simple. Our grandparents, of course. But how many times have you heard a great story from them but have never been able to retell it just as they did? Our unique service will help capture the stories and advice from elderly family members to teach future generations. These special stories will be given to their families so they never forget the priceless stories. We will be providing our service to aged care facilities in Beerwah and surrounds. We will be interacting, capturing and documenting their life story and life advice. We will create books with their stories that include photos and summaries of significant times in their lives. We are interested in making connections between younger people and older people. An extra feature of our books is to include a QR code scan so that readers can actually hear the original story told by the elderly family member.
We are going to create a prototype using our grandparents' stories so that we have an example to show our customers. This will provide the customer an idea of what they will be receiving. As you can see here, this is what our book will look like. Although this is very basic, we are going to expand on this, planning to add more pictures and of course more information about the people.
This project is extremely important to us because according to research, many elderly people suffer from isolation and loneliness. Knowing this, we believe that everyone should have the opportunity to have their stories heard. We also believe when our project goes further, it will impact the community as there will be a book about the older generation of the viewer community.
For the cost, we'll need to purchase these items in order to carry out our project.
Great.
Well done.
Have you guys done a pro forma on this thing as far as, number of customers and rolling it out? Because it seems like you got a couple of different things here. You're in the printing business, which is great. But these things would also be available online,
Yeah, we were thinking of also creating like a PDF version of it.
right? Okay.
But only those people that have requested the book can actually access those. Yeah, so they can access it online if they chose to share it with other people or access that file.
Have you thought about a price?
Yeah, we were thinking about like $20, but we think we might make it more because like when we think about it, there's actually like a lot of process that like goes into creating a book. We have to create like a QR code. We have to, actually go to the elderly people, interview them, ask them questions, and record it, and write it all down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you need to actually sort of run through a process and find out how long it will take you so that you have a better idea of your time, so that you value your time fairly, for sure, to help price it.
Sorry, I might have missed it. What's this compared to getting the story from the person?
That was just like a like connection to Kira's story about her nanny, and then she's got stories to tell, and like.
So
On the
this could be
back.
one of the
Yeah, we do
pictures.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. So at the moment, you're going to put one together for Beerwah,
Yes.
is that right, the book?
Yeah.
Have scope to expand that to more than that, or is that just something you'll add to continuously? Like the business model for the future is what? Once you've got that book up and running?
Well, yeah. Well, first we will just give it to the elderly people.
Yes?
And if they wish to make it public, because we don't know if they want it it's just personal for them.
Oh, okay.
But if they wish to make it public, we can like maybe change their names if they want that. And then we're thinking of like selling it to like the local area,
Okay.
but we're not sure yet if we want to expand from that.
Yeah. So your first business is that it's something that an elderly person or their family will pay for as a way of capturing their ideas into the book. Okay.
So you go into the elderly person that you know, write a story about them and then selling it back to them?
No, well, kind of we're gonna see if they're interested in getting us to do this.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they will be interested in our service, so they will pay us.
Okay.
Yeah, we've made contact with the local aged care facility where they've expressed their interest, and we're doing a write-up for them at the moment, and then they're going to publish it in the newsletter to see how many residents would be interested.
Nice.
You talked about printing and starting with a Word document as a way of putting together your story. Are you aware that there are photo book type services available online that you could feed that into to
Yeah,
make
that's
publishing
why,
easy?
Yeah, they mentioned Apple.
Yeah, we mentioned
iBooks.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. But do you still have to take it from iBooks then to somewhere else to publish it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Big W, for example, and I can't think of the other. No, there's other brand places that actually create books, and you select a book of 20 pages. It's for developing photos or putting photos, wedding albums and things like that together. And I'm sure you can feed in word segments and things like that to it as well, because you can create that as a picture to insert. And they're very cost-effective ways of producing, a glossy. It can be leather bound or velvet bound or books. So just as an idea, to give you a nice quality book at a quite cost-effective price.
Another suggestion that I'd make to you, so if I asked one of you today, I said to you, what did you do today? One of you go, might say, not much. Another one go, I woke up at 7:08 this morning and then I had Weet-Bix and then I put sugar on it. And then, if you ask elderly people, so tell me about your life, you're going to have both extremes. So you could be sitting there for 4 hours with someone, or you could be sitting there with 5 minutes where they might not say anything to you. So there are different books or other things where I think you could tailor it by the specific questions that you might ask. Give them questions to think about before we come and do the interview. What was one of the happiest moments? The quality of those questions will bring out the quality of the story. And if you can come to those sorts of things, you're probably going to get a far better finished product from the individual than just click open and say, tell me about your life.
Yeah.
That is a
I
suggestion.
think that's a really good point. And
You're going to have to develop some skills of being able to draw stuff out of them in a timely manner and time limit.
I'm wondering who the customer is here, because in one sense it might be the person, the elderly person, to tell you a story, but that would take a certain ego to say, hey, I want to publish this because I've got such a great story. On the other hand, when I think back of both my parents had gone, and there were probably things I wish I had recorded. But on my mom's 80th birthday, we put together a video, and mostly from still pictures and music and things like that. And it could make a great gift. When you talk about isolation, and then I'm wondering what the sale is to the family member or somebody. Or it might be a church group, for example. This is a former president of our congregation or something like that. You wanted to honor that person. Special occasions like that. And rather than untold tales, here I go again. But you know, something like "Remember Me" or something that touches the personal thing. But I think what Patrick said is really important. That it's not my whole life; it's the highlight.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's that highlight. Or you know, this guy was a rugby player. What was rugby league like in 1933 or whatever it was? You know, and that's a story that's interesting to a lot of people that play rugby or follow it. You know, but I think that again, that legacy. How did we get here? Because most of us live in the conceit that we arrived and this is how God created the world. Not exactly. You know, we did this. So
Might add to that. One of the things that my family has been doing at the moment is making like coffee table books. So like a specific moment, like my mate went around Australia and then he made a coffee book of all of the photos that he collected. And it was like really slick, you know, of all the adventures and a little bit of a story on each. So my idea when you pitched this was it's like a subscription box style thing where you've made this story and you've created this package about this person and you sell it to their family as a gift of their memories. So it's sort of going on the same storyline of what you want to achieve, but it's more of like a gift, a service.
Yeah.
Similar to
It's capturing that stuff that's precious.
Yeah. But that specific moment.
Yeah, yeah.
Not so much the whole life like these
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, so it could be specific moments
Yeah.
as well. But yeah, capturing those memories of your nanny or the elderly in our families, I think is something that becomes very precious. We don't realise how precious until it's often too late. So you know, you've certainly got some good sales pitches there to tackle it on.
I'm going to put the 15 in.
Yeah.
Have a think about your business model. I was just, another idea is all you guys get school photos, your parents have to pay for them. You're better off maybe going to one of the nursing homes and saying to them, as a service back to everyone who's a resident here or whatever, back to their families, can we do a story on every single one of them and you can give it back to the family as part of the costs of being here, and then all of a sudden the nursing home's funding the entire thing and you capture everybody. There's a whole range of different things you can do, but think good idea, just work on what your actual business model might be.
How do you make them?
Last 22.
Two things that stand out for me, girls, I really liked is there's obviously a personal engagement there, so you've got a connection, hence we got this, and others of you have grabbed into that. And the second thing is you've obviously done some research. Your background and your concepts are well thought through. You didn't make that up. You couldn't have made that up. So someone here, or all of you, are really good at researching, so well done on that. I've got $25 for you.
Yeah.
And I've got a postcard. I hope you enjoy it.
Perfect.
thank you.
Thanks guys, well done.
Grab your cash and shake some hands.